Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hello and welcome, Bushcraft family, with another video. And before we get started, happy Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day. And yes, I have green on. I always wear red shirts for Friday, so everybody should already know this, but I do have green camo shorts on. Okay, let's get started with this video. And I decided to do this because I do have some of these types around the neighborhood, and I was doing my own thinking about these terms and whatnot and what to look out for and so forth. And I came up with just 6 very easy way. If for instance, any of these 6 on this list resembles any of your neighbors and whatnot, then you may want to think about that. So be warned. And this could be in an emergency situation, the lack of power, you know, there's all kinds of different versions, and it could be a shift. It could be, you never know with the way things are going now, you never know. But it is something that 6 signs that one of your neighbors might just become a looter, robber, whatever you want to call them. You can title it whatever you want, but the fact is that if they know what you have, they've been watching you or whatnot, they could be a possible threat. So be prepared of that. Now, number 1 is lack of preparedness or lack of preparing, whatever you want to title it. Once the panic sets in and they don't start having food and they're starting to worry about their well-being of their family, this is one of the things that if your neighbor, you know, he or she or them are worried, or you know that they don't prepare at all, they just go to the grocery store every day, you know, that type of thing, someone to consider that they might be one. That's one heck of a red flag. When you get the person who says, well, if a SHTF situation happens, I know I'll be coming over to your place. Joking or not, that is a red flag. Yes. Okay, let's go to number 2. A very, very interest in your preps, how you're prepping things, how you're storing your water, and how much water you have, and where do you keep all your stuff, and all this stuff. That's a major flag right there. And you may be friendly with them during this time, but if they are interested in all this prepping stuff, but refuse to prep themselves, another red flag. Just saying. You may think that you're trying to get them into prepping and whatnot, but if they show no prepping at all, as in they don't have their own supplies, they don't have food, water, and all that stuff, yeah, you might want to think letting them in anymore. And here's the big one. This one is number 3. And you may not know this, you may know this. Previous or current criminal activity. You know the saying, once a thief, always a thief. There's a good reason for that saying. It's because it's true. Once somebody has been in that life, just because they don't do it anymore doesn't mean they won't revert to that. When disaster happens, a shift thing happens. Come on. Every time I decide to start recording, I have cats wanting to jump up on me. Come on. Everybody say hi. There we go. And this is Rugnut, by the way. Okay. Yes. More than likely, if they need something, they're going to take it. And, oh, I know, the guy next door is a prepper. Let's go over there. Yeah. And here's our next one. And you can kind of gauge these people. This is people with no morals, low morals, or whatever you want to call it. These are people that will resort to looting, robbery, you know, whatever the case may be, to get your stuff. And those are some of the people that you will need to pay attention to throughout your life in your neighborhood, if that's the case. Now, like I said, if you don't have any neighbors for miles and miles, and this is something that you don't have to think about, but it also, you have to think about this if you have friends that are similar to a neighbor that just come over and you do share things with, and you're trying to get them to prep and whatnot. You still have to pay attention to these things. And a neighbor could just be a friend that could live across the county or something. But these people are not the kind, again, with the morals. These are people that won't go out and rob a bank, or they don't forget to scan big ticket items in the self-checkout. And they're not looters or anything. It's just they have a certain morals that you just wouldn't trust. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain it, but it's those that hide up under the radar that you would think, could I trust that person in case of something bad happening and stuff? Is that somebody that would be looking over my back all the time? That's the ones you have to worry about too. And here's our last one. You say you're watching a movie with these people, and they're the type that, well, if anything happened like that, I would just go around taking what I need, robbing people. And this person doesn't have to be a crook or have any activity in it. It's almost like a laziness and they just steal what they need. They don't have to worry about prepping or anything like that. They may not be even serious, but the way they talk about something, that's very suspicious. And somebody that does have protection, you know what I'm talking about, that carries around, is a collector of these things, but would rather collect that kind of stuff than prep food, water, and that thing that would have no issues in coming over and taking the stuff for themselves. Those are the ones that you also need to be careful of. And none of these traits that I've said here guarantee that your neighbors will resort to, you know, looting, stealing, robbing, worse during shift, disaster, or whatever. But being aware of these little traits of your neighbors and friends and stuff like this might have some concern about that. And it's better to be aware of these little tidbits than the other, if you know what I mean. And that is our list. There could possibly be a lot more to this list. I'm sure there is, but for what this is the shortest and easiest way I could come up with this, and I think it's something that we should all pay attention to. And this could be, like I said, neighbors right next door. If you're in a city, in apartments even. If they see you hauling stuff in and saying, oh, you're really prepared for something happening and stuff like that, they notice these things. Now, you have to think, are any of these red flags that I mentioned before, is that person? And I'm not saying that you should go out and stop being friends with your neighbors or anything like that. It's just something to keep in your mind. Because hopefully, like I said, I never want anything to happen like shift or anything like that. But I would rather be prepared in case it does. Until next time, guys, God bless.